What's going on, guys? Miami here with JST. As you can see, today I am in Daytona, Florida at AudioScape's new warehouse, and it is hot out here, okay? First off, this place is 20,000 square feet. You guys are gonna finally see what's going on behind the scenes at AudioScape's. But what the?
Ready to come to work?
All right, let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Well, you said let's get to work, so I guess this is where everything starts and ends. You want to tell us a little bit about the process from beginning to end for AudioScape?
Yep, so this is where everything starts and ends. Like you said, everything comes in here right in this warehouse bay. And then we take all the raw parts and we start stacking them on shelves, as you can see. And this is where our assembly will pull from all the raw parts. And we'll just take a walk here. Let's check it out.
What are you guys doing with the AudioScape Sprinter over here?
So
I got the
this
Benz.
Actually, there used to be Summer NAMM in Nashville, and I got this so we could, take these to the trade shows, bring everything, sort of have it on the road. Now all the trade shows we do, we have to fly to. So,
yeah.
But it's still, this is actually my ride to work every day, which is pretty fun.
That's pretty dope. I want to go on a ride now later.
Yeah, it's probably not the best advertisement for the company because of the way I drive, but it's fun nonetheless. So this is where we start stacking everything on shelves, as you can see. Everything is broken out per department. So we have, the tube EQ department, we have the tube compressor department. Everything goes in its particular place. It's, right now it's a little cleaner than usual, believe it or not, because just, manufacturing is messy, but it's a beautiful thing, and it's what we live for, it's what we do. So you can check out some of the shelving here we have. You can see our machine shop right over there. Zach's working on something if you turn around the corner here as we start to head towards assembly. This is near the back part of the warehouse.
Like people always tell me when they go into a studio and the whole studio is just like completely clean and it's like dusted and everything, they're just like, nobody's working in here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nobody's doing anything in here. And that's how I feel. That's why my studio always looks like that. That's why my desk's always covered in dust,
Yeah.
All right, so after the parts come in, they come in through the door. You guys are moving them in. You got them on the pallets. The boxes are getting stacked. What happens next?
Next, the parts are grabbed and they come into this room, which is assembly.
I feel like I'm about to get killed by Dexter or something when I walk through here.
Or go into like a walk-in freezer.
Yeah.
Or this is where the magic happens for sure. This is assembly. This is lots of happy hands here working. Everybody, as you guys will see, everyone has their own space where they create and they work on everything.
Decorated spaces too.
Yes, very decorated.
Decorated. I saw the Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. Big Demon Slayer fan here, by the way. Zenitsu!
Well, that's something that I feel like it's important. Everyone that's here loves music. They either play music, they produce music, so it's a lot of, that's really obviously the common bond.
Yeah.
What's going on here. So,
Gotta love your job.
Yeah.
JST and all that,
AudioScape. So Joey's here assembling an opto. Sean is working on some of the T4Bs that we make. Looks like he's matching photocells. John is here finishing up Bus Comp, which is our first product.
That was your first product, I remember. That was the first thing that I had wanted to review. I ended up getting one anyways. I still have that thing, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was our first product. We developed that in 2015, and then 2016 we launched the company. So,
okay.
Yeah, Matt here is actually hand wiring. He's in the process of hand wiring a DI Plus, one of our newer products. So a lot of people don't realize that these are actually hand wired. So that's really cool. And he also does a lot of our 500 series products here. So he's also got his inspiration there, so that keeps him going through the day there.
Mr. Cage.
Yeah, Mr. Cage. I like that shirt too. He's the half open shirt.
Yeah, if you guys can't tell, I've been kind of, working on my upper body too. Trying to get back, you know how it is.
Oh, well, one thing I do want to talk about too while we're here is we did do a custom run of these DIs, and this is and we use New Old Stock UTC A11s, and Matt here designed this case, the MJR Classic Gold Edition. So this is actually a special edition we did. I think we only ran like 10 or 20 of these. So if you have one of these are really cool. And we were selling them through Providence Sound and Vision, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool. It's got all the gold hardware, and it's got completely original design. So instead of like doing like a product like here's a big name with putting their stamp on it, Matt, who builds them, you know, we had him do it up, and this is his product, and we identify it with him. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of that we've done, you know, so far. Right here, Matt's actually our floor manager. This is his station, so he's not here. He's probably helping somebody somewhere else. But we have Rob Gator, as we call him lovingly here. He's actually putting together some meters for the VCOM Plus, which he assembles and tests and tuberals and amongst other things.
So you guys aren't just like buying meters in bulk. You're actually doing all of your meters are hand. That's crazy.
So assembly end to end here. So like as you saw from the warehouse, all the raw parts are stored here. So that's one of the things I feel like we do different. Everything's built end to end from start to finish. Rob also plays with Roman Duddy, plays bass and goes on tour a lot. So he's not here all the time. We miss him when he's gone, but I'm sure it's nice for him to get out and tour. So Rome was singing with Sublime for a while, and Duddy's a singer.
Oh yeah, I remember that whole thing.
Yeah, yep.
Oh dude, yeah, shout out to Rome. I saw, I'm trying to remember, that was some years back that I saw Rome with Sublime, but absolutely awesome show. Remember that.
So, yep. So Rob plays with them, so he's busy a lot of the time, but like I said, we're lucky when he's here. So we're grateful. And this is the MEQ station and EQP. This whole area right here, this whole row, up until Glenn over there in the Adidas hat, is all EQP MEQ. So you can see Greg here is stuffing EQP filter board right now. So all the PCBs are done here on site as well. So it's, like I said,
no PCBs from China.
So all end-to-end assembly, yep.
You're all done here. And you guys are the only ones that are actually making a quality clone of that EQ.
Yeah, and the MEQ is really the only budget mid-range EQ you can get. And I feel like that's, you know, you're talking about the Golden 58 being an unsung hero earlier. I feel like the MEQ is an unsung hero because that's like one of like the coolest. It doesn't get all the rave that the EQP 1A gets, but the MEQ 5A is really in its own right a beautiful equalizer. And the line amp is completely different. You can't just throw like a mid dip on an EQP and say you got the MEQ too. No, like the MEQ is its own thing. It's got a single-ended line amp versus the push-pull line amp in the EQP 1A, and it's just got its own sound and its own vibe, and it's killer on just anything you can imagine, like guitars, vocals even. It's as we'll see in the lab later. I'll show you, I'll do a little rundown. You can see the difference in real time between the two equalizers.
Okay, so, I kind of want to test one of these on my voice.
Yeah.
Just like run through the chain and like see what we can do with it. You guys will probably like that. So
yeah, let's do it. So they're in the process of assembling some EQPs, and then we move here. Now we're moving to more stereo compressors. We have the AS78, which as you can see, Zach is assembling a front panel on right now.
Beautiful. And
Glenn here is actually working on the meters for a 260 VU. So both of these, all this is kind of contained in these four stations right here. Looks like Shane is assembling the case for the AS78 as well.
My man Shane, this is the first person I met when I came here.
That's a good person to be greeted by. Shane actually does a lot of our, he's doing a lot of our socials right now, and photos, and so if you talk to anyone on social media, a lot of times you're speaking with Shane.
Yeah.
So, and then on this wall, these four stations right here, 76s. So 76A, D, F, all that is manufactured here. You can see Jeremy's over there working on some, it looks like he's stuffing some 76A boards. And these, we use these handy dandy board stuffing, whatever these things are, these Ideal Techs, which are really helpful. So we can stuff in mass, not mass, but like 20 boards at a time, which is super handy. Everything is still, that's the thing I was talking about earlier. Like we're building in small batches.
Yeah.
So everything is still, even though like I might order parts for 500 optos, we're still only building 10 optos a week, you know, from that and pulling those parts. So it's very, we're still building the same way. There's just more of us doing it. That's the only way to do it the same way, is just to keep adding people, training, and not, you know, go like we're not running off. We're not building 500 optos at one time, you know?
Yeah.
So
more people making them, but also more people buying them.
yes.
So you're out of stock the same way.
Yes.
Like, okay.
But what I think is cool about this is like, it's not like we were like advertising. We don't have like big box stores or dealers like repping us to the world, you know. So it's all been like, hey, I saw this in somebody's studio. I saw this somewhere else. I use this. I wanted this for myself. So it's all been real organic with the growth. So
I mean, word of mouth in audio is pretty much like the biggest thing, and forums.
yeah.
You know, which is still like, you know, word of mouth.
And forums have been great. Yeah, forums, videos. Lots of times people will get things and like they'll just post a video of it. You know, we had someone in the UK, Romesh. He got an AS78. He posted a video showing like how the blink control works on that, and people went crazy. So
Romesh Doden Goda?
yeah.
Yeah. Romesh Doden Goda worked on Trash Boat album. I was listening on the way here with Tony from JST. He's also here with me. He's over there. Put him on camera.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, so he picked me up from the airport just so we could make it here in time. It was a whole thing. But the flight wasn't that bad. 4 hours knocked out. Here we are. So
Yeah, I've got to be grateful for direct flights. Like I can't do the layover thing. So yeah.
Okay, so we come in here. Everything is assembled, put together. What do we do next?
So next we move into what we call finishing, which is really, that handles a lot of the calibrations. We make sure everything, so the unit's assembled now. Now we got to make sure it's properly set up, calibrated, fine-tuned, ready for that final step of final QC. So why don't we head into finishing? Check it out.
Running through the doors.
And you can see this is where we stack a lot of the finished items, or they're in some phase of being tested here on this shelf. Quite a few desks here along this wall. We also have some utility desks, and then of course we have our lab, which we'll spend some time at, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit later today. So
first thing that catches my eye in here, I mean, besides the fact that there's all these products getting ready to go out, is this. I saw this when I was at NAMM with you guys, the relic version of your gear, and I just thought this was probably the coolest thing I'd ever seen in hardware in general. So can people buy these?
So we release these about once a month on like a Tuesday. We call it Trainwreck Tuesday. Every now and then people reach out and they're like, hey, can I get a Trainwreck version? They don't want to wait, and that's fine too. We can usually oblige and take care of that. But yeah, you can, to answer your question, yes, you can get them. And one thing that we try to represent is these aren't things that we're doing ourselves. This is something we do outsource to a artist in Arizona who does a lot of like really cool steampunk lamps and that. And it's funny, we got a Louder Than Liftoff unit here. Dr. Bill of Louder Than Liftoff fame is actually who linked us up with Larry. He's based in Arizona. And he really thought it would be interesting to offer more relic versions of the AudioScape products. And I think it's really cool. It's unique. Every single piece is different too. So they look a little bit different. You go look at, like, that rack's a little bit different than the one you saw at NAMM. You probably don't notice a difference now. They all look, you know.
Yeah, relatively.
But if you put them side by side, you see a lot of cool variants. So it's a one-off art piece. So I think it's cool because it's like, this is like a work of art to me, and you're using it to make art. So
yeah, I want him to make me a steampunk one where there's like some gears to like turn on here instead of knobs and stuff like that. It'd be pretty dope. But no, that's awesome. I saw this at some point. I definitely got to add that to my arsenal. And you want to talk a little bit about what you got going up here in the
So, well, as I don't know, a lot of people even still know this, but the session desk is we have those available on the AudioScape website, so you can pick those up right now. Usually there's a short lead time, and sometimes we even have them in stock. As you could see earlier, we had pallets of that's all the session desk stuff that's over on the left side of the warehouse there. So we have a lab we've set up for anyone that works here to familiarize themselves with each product. So they can kind of get a sense of the end user side of what they're actually building. And I think that's important. It doesn't matter if you are just assembling an XLR jack. It's important that you understand how all these devices work, you know, from an end user standpoint.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot nicer than the desk I have in my studio right now. I had to like modify mine and like build an extra like for you and wedge it into the thing to have enough space. That's where I put that LA2A at, actually.
Oh, nice.
Which I've been using a lot. Man, I can't actually insert this clip because I use this. I use that LA2A on this song Velvet for this artist Fredi, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal on the vocal. Actually, insert that now.
Right out of this chest, oh yes, little too goes for comfort, little too good to be true. I'm in stranger danger.
Oh, one thing you mentioned, you had to cram that rack in there. One thing that's really cool about these session desks, especially this one right here, is this the Trio or the Trapeze?
This is the Trapeze.
So yeah, this is the Trapeze 60. It's modular. If you could actually add racks to it and like have different configurations, and yeah, very smart the way they've put this all together with their studio desks. So
Oh, I see now.
yeah,
I see how they're doing
pieces.
that.
So it's like a separate rack, and you can add another rack bay to each side, which is really, and then their speaker stands are very super heavy duty. We have those on the website as well. The best speaker stands I've ever seen. Before we had these, I bought a pair of like cheap speaker stands and they broke, and I ended up actually making a Festivus pull out of them. So
I'll tell you one thing about like my studio right now. Like the desk I have too, it's an OmniRax desk. And whoever designed this desk, I don't know, but the speakers are up so high that I have to like get like the, you know, acoustiphone pads that like point them down to angle back down to me. I can't even use these because it would make them so much higher than I am. I wouldn't even have like a point of reference for them. So who knows, maybe in the future. But
so yep, and this is, like I said, the shelf where everything kind of is in some state of being close to done. Either it's ready to be calibrated, it's finished, it's getting ready to go on the shelf for final QC over there in that other room. So yeah, this is where we do the thing.
one thing I think that's beautiful about this is just knowing the care that goes into each one of the units that you have, you know. It's not just being done on some printed PCB that you're getting over from China. Like, everyone's in there taking care of every single part. You see the solder points coming in. You see that there are names attached to every single one of these orders. They care. And that's one thing that I noticed about your company, like, a long time ago. Like, you weren't just sending out as many units as you possibly could. You're like, we're gonna make the best units we can. We're gonna put those out. When we run out, we run out. When we make more, we make more. That's just the way that we live by. So yeah. I always respected that about you guys.
No, thank you. And we've tried to, we've tried to make things more accessible as we've grown. So it's not like, I know there's still sometimes I see comments like, it's hard to get this. And it's like, just reach out. We're easy. We're to a point now where we can accommodate and have things go out in a timely manner. So we've actually moved more to a lead time model where, sometimes on each individual product page, you can see, oh, this will ship, I'll buy this, it'll ship in 1 to 2 weeks, or this will ship in 4 weeks if it's something that's in high demand, like an EQP. So that's something else that we've recently implemented after we've been in this building about a year. So one thing I wanted to talk about was when you turn on a piece of AudioScape gear and you like it, there's a lot of intangibles that go into that. And you were talking about the names on each single unit. And aside from those names, one thing we do, I think that's unique and cool, is we keep data on each unit and the name assigned to it. Not like, not anything nefarious like companies that keep data on you so they can sell you stuff, but things like
my password,
there's a range on certain things that we build. We use, we'll talk about later, components that have wider tolerances. So keeping this data, like knowing that, for instance, your T4B speed on your opto is at medium slow for what we graded as medium slow. It's still pretty narrow range. We still have that. So if you bought an opto in like 2022, and then in 2024 here, you buy another one, we'll know that, oh, you bought one before in 2022 and your T4B speed was medium slow, so we're gonna match it, so at least get it somewhat in that range. So if you want to use them in dual mono, instead of just using the stereo link jack, you can use them that way as well. So we really care about the end experience at any point in time.
You're safe. So somebody like buying something from here, like you're safe, knowing that if you needed to have something done later on, that someone's keeping the documents. And I don't know another company that does that.
Yeah, and we did, now some of our earlier stuff, I mean, we can talk a little bit later about why we're in this building, but we did have a computer that got flooded from Hurricane Ian. So like things from like maybe 2016 to 2018, we might not have as much data on, but we really try to be as meticulous as we can be. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Totally understand. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have gone through it. We have seen the warehouse. We understand what's going on with the assembly line. We understand now the finishing process. It comes in here, it gets finished, it gets tested. What next?
Next, we go to Final QC.
All righty.
Let's
Want to
do
lead
it.
the way?
Yeah. This room may not be as cool looking as finishing, but it's equally important. This is where we make sure everything is on point before it goes into shipping. So it's one of the most important rooms in this building.
Understood. Quality control. I mean, knowing that you guys are testing every single thing before it goes out and looking through the line, I'm assuming you guys don't get a lot of returns on stuff.
No.
Yeah, I can't imagine so. Because someone would have to pry that LA2A out of my cold, dead hands. I've been using that, like that has literally been like my thing. Before that, I was kind of stuck on a distressor and opto mode. For a while, I was doing that, and the second I ran my bass through that, I was like, nah, this is it. This is it. And I'm doing a lot more like jazz and like R&B stuff on the side now. A lot of things in that genre. So it's really been hitting the exact sound I've been looking for in that regard. And y'all got a lot of people working here. Yeah.
I think currently we have 36 people here, and we do have some new hires coming in the next few weeks. So we'll be approaching 40 people here probably by the time this airs.
Yeah, man, we're in a room right now. We've been in a bunch of rooms. There's like 8 people in this room or more. There's like 10 people in here. This area right here, what is this desk?
This is kind of my hub where I spend most of my time. It's definitely a lot cleaner than it usually is, right? You know, it's usually pretty chaotic, but I do a lot of purchasing here of parts. You know, you see me on Mouser or DigiKey and, you know, looking up, ordering parts for projects. I have a requisition form. Everyone, you know, parts are running low on. Once we get, reach certain thresholds, then I have to go order the parts. I still do a lot of Final QC here as well on a lot of things. Like I was sitting tube rolling your opto that you're talking about, sitting right there.
I remember the desk. I saw it.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw it. He was showing me he was like, how do you want this thing to sound? What do you want it to do? And it's an experience unique to me. Because typically, unless somebody is making you like a custom piece of gear, nobody takes that much time or attention into something. Random thing, I see those Cali audio monitors back there. Shout out to Cali. You know, we do a lot of stuff with those guys and they make great stuff too.
They're amazing. We reach out to them and yeah, right now I used to have the Barefoot sitting here and they've been actually really handy to have right here as another pair. So yeah, shout out to them. It's awesome.
Man, and after going through all this stuff and seeing the different things you guys have been working on, I'm so curious what's up with that Fairchild, the Fair Comp, whatever you guys named it. I want to know what's up with that thing. But some of your other gear, I do want to do a vocal performance, and I want to kind of run through it and have you dial me in.
Okay.
And let's see how that goes. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Let's do it.
Once we finish this up. But okay, now. We've done this, we've gone through here, we have checked everything, dotted our I's, crossed our T's and all that. What's the last thing after quality control?
So after we make sure everything's done, we put the lid on, make sure all the screws are in the lid, all that fun stuff. Then we put I think we take it right back out here and we put it on the ship shelf. So right outside Final QC is our ship shelf. Right now it's actually kind of empty because Josh has been working hard all day here. So, but everything that's finished goes on the shelf, and then you can see it's got it, like you were talking about the tags, it's got its name, it has the date of assembly, and we log all that data. when
That's
it
a
comes in.
weird way to spell Joey Sturgis on there. No.
And yeah, so right now we're actually, we have those DIs, those custom DIs. We're actually waiting for the names to come from Providence for those. So that's why they're sitting up there. But yeah, so everything that's finished, final QC goes on this shelf. And Josh, all throughout the day, all day long, is packing up. So,
I mean, quite the operation. If you guys are like me, you know all the clone companies that have come and gone, and the ones that started pretty small and you never really heard from again. These guys have found a way to build something. How big is this facility?
about 20,000 square foot.
20,000 square feet is insane. Like, that's an insane facility. This many employees here, from something where they had an idea, recreating a piece of gear. That SSL bus comp was the start, and from this point, how many products do you guys have?
24-ish, something like that.
24, and more to come.
Yeah, more to come, as you saw it now.
Yeah. So excited about seeing more of that stuff, and there you guys have it. We have gone through the AudioScape compound. We have seen everything from start to finish. I hope you guys have a little bit more appreciation for what goes into making the gear that you see, and understand that at a really affordable price point, these guys are putting together things that rival stuff that is 3 times as much money. Another thing I want to mention, and I don't want to talk too much for you guys, but the fact that they're, don't have any big time distributors, a lot of the costs that would be going into that stuff instead is going into the components and the quality parts that these guys are putting into your stuff. So pay attention to that and deal with the people that are making sure you're getting the best thing that you can for your money. And that's what I would say to end this off. If you're an engineer on the come up, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. You only have to do it one time, and tap that bell for notification so when video drops, you know the location. Till next time, my friends, catch you later.